Hello, this is Malevolence with another God's Rush guide, this time for the Hero Lineup Video Challenge. And let's start with the Arena Power Team. Now there's two different scenarios that I go with in the Arena, depending on which thing I'm facing. For opponents where I'm just trying to move up the ladder a little bit, I like to use my default team, which has burst damage on single target only. So you'll see as I refresh through here to find a suitable opponent to go up against, I'm going to look at their lineup to make sure that it's not similar to mine. And this one's different enough. I'll go for this one. And we'll go ahead and use the lineup of Cerberus is key here as burst damage. Hercules resurrects. Hephaestus is for stunning. Estrella is for silencing. And Atalanta is also for single target damage and burst damage for the entire group. So now as you can see here, the stun is key at the beginning for Hephaestus. Anybody that you have that can stun is good to have. Poseidon can do single target freezing, as you can see happen to my tank here, which is another good choice. But obviously Hercules resurrecting, can't go wrong with that. And Cerberus's burst damage, especially his ultimate, takes out single targets very quickly, diminishing the overall group damage that your opponent can do. So even when Estrella silences you, and even if the other team gets off a heal, they don't have enough team members left for it to matter. And that's why I like this particular team. Some people substitute Hera for Atalanta, and you'll see some other similar mixes out there. Now, if I'm only going up against the mystery man, the question mark guy, a lot of people use this strategy too, I'm sure, and that is picking one of your team members, and in this case I'm going to be using Medea, that can beat himself or herself simply by having their ultimate go off first. So you'll notice my Medea is not that high level right now, so it'll take her a while to defeat herself. But the key is to find your one team member that can actually have enough damage that they won't die before the ultimate goes off, but the ultimate must go off before the other one does, and that will usually take out the other opponent. And Cupid does well here, as well as Typhon. Your mileage may vary. Just try them out. Next is our Gauntlet Power Team, and I've done this with the previous video challenge. What I have is a preferred team that I use almost throughout the entire Gauntlet, and that is Hades, Hecate, Argus, Estrella, and Chryseis. And that's mainly because Hades can heal himself even if he's damaged at the beginning of the fight. Hecate and Argus provide burst damage. Estrella provides very strategically timed silencing. Right now, she's silencing Zeus right when he was about ready to damage my team. And of course, Estrella can get off a heal once everyone on the other team is silenced, including their Estrella. And that's why I like this particular team up. They also tend to recharge their full rage and health at the end of each battle. Argus didn't quite do it there, but in most battles they do win quite handily. Next is the Guild Wars Power Team. And for this one, it's kind of interesting because you have to pick a team that will last each time, and you don't have to worry about them being full rage like in Gauntlet. So in this case, I like to use Hercules, Poseidon, Estrella, Chryseis, and Atalanta because none of them are super damage heavy to charge up the rage of the other team. Like Hecate is an absolute no-no in Guild Wars if you can avoid it, unless you're doing a suicide squad to just get as far as you can. You'll notice here that Hercules will die, and that's fine. He'll resurrect himself. But the key is to not use any ultimate powers until Chryseis heals. After that, I can fire off some ultimates if I want. You can see I'm doing that here. I'm going to leave some of them alone sometimes because guess what? If you have full rage at the end of the battle, that will contribute to that character's health in the next round. And in the party stage, depending on which party stage it is, of course, it will vary. But what I like to do is make sure the person on the other team, the boss, is not able to get off their ultimate at all. So I do a lot of stunners and silencers for this one. In this case, we're going to use Helen for her initial stun power. It's not her ultimate, but it's very useful. Hecate also has a silence that she can use, and is very powerful, of course, for damage. Poseidon has a single target freeze, which if there's only one opponent, that's fine. Estrella silences on a couple different levels, and Chryseis has the charm, and of course can heal the party if they need it. So as we go into this battle, you'll see that Chryseis will pretty much be stunned, the boss Chryseis that is, will pretty much be stunned the entire time. And for me, Helen is good for this because Chryseis will charm on occasion. Helen doesn't do too much damage to my team when she is charmed. But sometimes you can time it just right so that Helen can do her pink cage thing, which is basically a silence skill. And you'll see her try to do it here. She's going to try to get Chryseis to not charm her. Oh, she didn't quite do it there, but that's what I was trying for. And when Helen is up against the Estrella boss, it's very handy to keep her from taking away rage from my team. So you notice that Poseidon and Hecate went off at the same time. It's key in party stage to use like 2 ultimates at the same time so as not to waste the clock. So you can see I'm not using these ultimates for Chryseis and Estrella until Estrella is ready to silence. And then I do Chryseis and Estrella at the same time. That's so that they don't waste time charging up their ultimate or doing their ultimate skill and using up clock time. And then it's just a matter of waiting out the battle. Now, Chryseis is a little bit easier, but again, there goes Hecate and Poseidon at the same time, so as not to waste the clock. And there's a bunch of other different people that will do burst damage against Athena. So Athena's a little different than these guys, but trying to keep her from doing anything to heal herself will, as you can see, do about 315,000 damage, which will get me my maximum 180,000 gold. And that's really all I care about. So that's it, guys. Happy hunting, and I'll see you around in God's Rush.